All right. And we are live. What's up, you
Woo!
guys?
Hello, hello.
Oh, look at everyone in the chat already. What's going on? What's going on? Tom, Amy C. Weir, Jim. Oh, Mitch. What's up, Mitch? Oh, it's great to see
Hey,
all you
get out of the
guys.
chat room. You're supposed to be narrating.
It's good to see everyone for our very first live stream here on the Pebbleton Post. And we're so excited to be here. It's Josh Lake. I got the lovely Paige Goodger and, of course, Mr. Bix Weir, aka Glix, in the house. And we're couldn't be more excited to be doing our first live stream. And so thankful for all you guys here in the chat, all of you guys tuning in from all over the world. We're doing this because, as you know, or if you don't know, Paige and I are starting our own channel here on the interwebs. Bix has been such a leader with the Road to Ruta in the freedom space, and we're excited to be continuing our own efforts in that same space with this project called the Pebbleton Post. And so if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, make sure you like us, subscribe to us, and stay tuned for a lot of the good work that we'll be doing because we have so much energy, so much excitement to be putting into this space, into this awesome community that we met through the Road to Ruta. And so, anyway, just want to say thanks for being here. Bix, Paige, how are you guys? What's going on?
I'm excited just to be here. Seeing both of you guys do this is so fun, and everybody I've talked to on the Road to Ruta says, "Oh, I can't wait for Paige and Josh to go live." So now they're live. Look at that.
We are live. I'm feeling great. I'm so excited for today's discussion, for our first live. A couple of our videos came out. Our Patreon is going. I am just so stoked for this project and to join the conversation, join this community. And thank you to everyone in the chat room. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. You guys are awesome. And yeah, let's get into it.
Absolutely. Well, just to start, in case you guys are just understanding who we are, Paige and I, we have been part of the Road to Ruta family for a long time now, but officially we're employees of the Road to Ruta for a couple of years and learned so much in that time. Bix, you were such a great leader and such a great teacher and mentor for us to understand, so much of this world, so much of this red-pilled world that we are now excited to be part of. And so in the time of being on the Road to Ruta, we were part of so many things, including, the Freedom Roadshow, which hopefully some of you guys who are tuning in got to go meet us in person. We traveled all over the country over a series of months, making sure Bix's message and energy got put out there, and in the form of song, in the form of seminar, and in the form of us all getting together and showing each other some love. Clint Westwood in the house. What's up? Oh, there's so many good people here. So many people that we got to meet on the road. Like I said, Mitch and Clint and Lisa and Amy, of course. So excited to see you all. But anyway, Paige, what were some of the parts of working with the Road to Ruta, working for Bix that you really enjoyed?
I think one of my favorite, obviously, things about the Road to Ruta was the road show. Getting out on the road, being able to meet people in person, shake their hand, give them hugs. That was truly just such an epic experience, and unlike anything I've ever done in my whole life. Living with you in an RV brought us closer. Being on the road with family for, a month at a time just really brought us all so much closer. And so that was epic. And then another one of my favorite parts working at the Road to Ruta was just learning so much. I was just constantly learning new information. Word Wednesday, putting out all the Word Wednesdays and having to prep for those every week, I love that I got to learn at my job every single day. And also sending out the silver. I was in charge of sending out the silver coins to everyone. And every single piece I sent out, I would tell myself, I'm like, this is one more person that's in the fight. This is one more person who owns silver. This is one more person on our side in our movement, fighting for freedom, fighting for what's good, what's right in this world. So all of those were definitely just pivotal moments in my freedom, journey and learning journey. So, yeah, what were some of your favorite parts, Josh?
Oh my gosh. Well, you definitely nailed it when you said the road show. That was probably the point for me where I got to see everything come together, where, you got to see the community. You get to interact with all these people online. We would see each other in the chat rooms. We would talk over email. We would be connected. But when we actually got to meet each other and shake each other's hands and share knowledge and share ideas in person, that was where the magic really struck me and inspired me to want to continue to find that community, find this information and share it and get as many people on board as possible. I mean, Bix, that once you're out there and you're shaking hands and you're feeling the energy, it's something that you can't replace. And so that was one of the biggest parts for me, but also just being such a member of where I could show my talents in terms of creativity. I was part of making the logo. I was part of redesigning the website. We made some really cool music videos. We made some really good documentaries, especially about the road show. We got to run some sweepstakes. We got to give away some theta, which was a lot of fun. We got to design some t-shirts, which were also available on the website and on the road. So we got to do a lot of fun stuff that not only helped get people excited and stoked about the movement, but also got to showcase some of the talents that I have, and also learning about all this information, learning about silver, learning about crypto, learning about freedom and all the things, the fight of good and evil, the good guys and bad guys, as Bix likes to call them. So those were all things that really got me fired up and got me excited. And well, even more than that, I found a sense of purpose. I found a sense of community that I'd never found before, especially when you become red pilled. You might feel a little bit alone. You might feel a little bit scared that no one else knows, no one else really understands what you see in the world. And so when we got to meet the people through the road to Ruta and connect with them, that was something that gave me a whole new sense of meaning. And so that's a lot of the effort that we're doing here and trying to do it in our own way. And with Bix, what do you think? What do you think about how Paige and I are trying to put ourselves out there into the world? Do you feel like there's anything that we need to take from you or anything we need to change in our own direction?
I think you guys are doing the right thing. I've been pushing this for quite a while now, because you guys bring a different perspective to the road to Ruta, to the message. You're much younger than I am, and you're the people you interact with are different than the people I interact with. And I think there's so much that, especially people just waking up now, can benefit from what you guys have done over the past couple of years, waking up to kind of the craziness behind the scenes. And you guys are quick studies. I think your generation learns fast. They get deceived fairly easy. Everybody wants to go with the flow. They want to be fit in and all that. But at the end of the day, when they get lied to, all of a sudden, bang, they'll never be lied to again. And I think they're just waking up to that as far as certain things that we can't talk about on YouTube. But there's just so much more to go from here moving forward. I think you guys are doing you're exactly where you need to be at the right time. And as your generation wakes up to all the craziness, they're going to be looking for places to go to say, okay, what's this crypto stuff? How do I do that? Why is silver so important? Why is freedom so important? What's with the healthcare system? What's with the, why should I plant my own garden? All that stuff is going to be so important for your generation, even more than mine. I mean, what do we got? Maybe 30 years left of life for me. And I'm at this point where it's like, I'm excited for you guys to learn all the things I learned and then to take it in a much farther direction, and touch so many more people, because there's so many people waking up now, and you just can't help it. And pretty soon it'll be cool to be awake rather than cool to be, oh yeah, you have to get your things taken. I can't even say it. I'm not going to mess up your YouTube channel. But yeah, the cool factor is swinging all the way around, and you guys are going to be leaders in your both your community and around the internet. I mean, I have we had talked a lot about the things I didn't do on the road to Ruta, because it wasn't really to my generation, or I'd already been through that, like crypto training and stuff like that. You guys are going to get into that. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I've been through it 1,000 different times, but that was never for me something I really wanted to deal with. But you guys know how important it was, because one of the main things that you guys got to do is listen to the support channel, and all these people saying, tell Bix to do this. Why isn't he doing that? And you come to me and say, wait, they really want this. I go, I don't care. I'm too tired. That's my grumpy old man voice. But you guys, I'm looking forward to whatever you do. And I'm excited that you got this thing going, and hopefully everybody like and subscribe. Definitely like and subscribe. Go to the Patreon channel, Pebbleton Post Patreon. Get support behind you guys, and tell all your friends, hey, this is the place to be.
Well, thank you, Bix. That means the world to us, and we are very much excited to be bridging the gap, I'd like to say, with a lot of the information that you and a lot of the people in this scene already have. This scene, I'm talking about the people who are living for freedom, standing for what is right, trying to take back their own energy and their own livelihood from the powers that be, who might have controlled or manipulated it away, and bring some more truth and honesty into the world. And so I feel like a lot of that information is with the older generation, because they got to see it. They got to see their money be taken off the gold standard. They got to see a lot of the turmoil that happened throughout time, while a lot of the younger generation, they're just kind of born into it, and they kind of accept that as life, or they don't even understand that there was a different time where there was different values in this country and around the world. And so one of the things that we're really excited to do is bridge that gap, bring that wisdom from the older generations into our generation and even the younger generations, and hopefully inspire some of those people who are in the older generation to adopt some of this new technology and this new thinking that's been coming into the world, that's going to be revolutionary if we only know how to wield it properly. And so that's one of the big purposes here. And one of the reasons why we're so thankful to have you on is because a lot of this comes down to the financial side. A lot of this comes down to having a good understanding of truly what wealth is and truly how to control it within your own means, within your own possession. And that's something that the Road to Ruta has been so important in teaching and educating the people in, and myself included. I've learned so much about how to, appreciate these little pieces of metal, learning how to hold cryptocurrency in my own possession the right way through the Road to Ruta. And that's something that we're really excited to bring into all this. And then beyond that, more topics that Paige and I resonate with, including, personal empowerment and health. I mean, I know that you guys with the Road to Ruta have been very much health conscious, with people like C60, with the raw food reboot that you guys have been putting on, which has been a ton of people I know I've heard have gained so much benefit from. And that's one area too that I know Paige is really excited to bring a lot of energy toward, is because she has so much alignment with truly living a life of health and of holistic, intentional, mindset and physical practice. And so, Paige, is there anything you'd like to say in terms of what you're excited to bring to this project that maybe we didn't get to dive so deep into with the Road to Ruta?
Yes, absolutely. I think, our health is our biggest asset. You can have all the money in the world, and if you're unhealthy, pretty much all of that money and wealth is just going to go to taking care of yourself and making sure that you're able to live and provide for your family and be there for your friends and family. And so I'm really excited to dive into the health aspect of everything and making sure that everyone has the longevity to make sure they are just running in line with the wealth that they're acquiring. They're healthy, they're energetic, they're ready to just live life. And that health and wellness umbrella is really big. That goes into mental health, that goes into physical health, movement, what we're putting in our bodies, what's in the food that we're eating, what's in our water systems, making sure we have the correct ways to get, healthy water and healthy food, growing your own food, really just everything under this health and wellness umbrella. I'm just so excited to dive into, and we have some wonderful partners, with C60, Marjorie Wildcraft, Berkey, that we are just really excited to share with everyone. And And this is my, field of expertise. This is really what lights me up. And I'm really excited to, hold everyone's hand and walk them down this healthy journey. And, if anyone's curious about things, like being sober, I recently am on this sober journey, and it has truly been life-changing, eye-opening. And I feel so good that I want to help everyone else feel as good as I do, and in whatever way that means for them. So that's what I'm going to be bringing to the Pebbleton Post, and very excited for that.
Well, we're so excited to do it, and we're so thankful that there's a great community out there who not only we get to learn from, but we get to grow with. And that's probably the last thing that we really are excited to bring to the table, is adding to the community and being a part of this amazing group of people from all over the world. I like what Litecoin Lisa says, our magical internet friends, who has really impacted me on a personal level, and I know all of us. And so to continue to be a part of that effort is going to be something that I so look forward to doing each and every day, and something that, Bix, you've been doing for a long time now. How long have you been, putting yourself on the internet and trying to get this information out there and building this community?
I guess I started in 2000 working with GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee. That's in about 1999. I found out that the markets were rigged, at least the gold and silver markets. And then it just went from there. And I started the Road to Ruta website doing a blog in 2010. It really wasn't until about 2015, 16 that I started on YouTube, and that everything blew up from there, which is great. And I had no idea that YouTube could reach so many people. Technology is an amazing thing for the good and the bad. Hopefully we'll get a lot of the good out of it, and we'll be able to see the bad coming, like CBDCs, for example, central bank digital currencies. We have to be very wary of them, but that doesn't mean we have to not have digital money. There are ways to go about a CBDC, for example, a blockchain that is immutable, that can't be changed. A fixed number of coins that the U.S. Central bank can create, things like that. If you make a CBDC exactly like Bitcoin, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a wonderful thing. But politicians and banksters hate that because it limits their power. And I think we need to take the money out of the politicians and out of the bankers' hands, give money back to the people. Let us be concerned with what we use as money, and you guys get your grubby little hands out of it, especially the bankers. I mean, the more I study the banking of the past, why we went on to a gold standard in 1900 and all that, I've been diving into that lately. And fixing the price of gold at $20.67 in 1900 changed the world. And there was no gold standard around the world at that time. England had gone on a gold standard in the early 1800s only because they didn't have enough silver. But they got all their colonies to go on gold. And finally, the U.S. was one of the last ones to go on the gold standard. But the problem with the gold standard was they fixed the price at $20. You can't do that if you're going to have the ability to print money, which they had, and you're fixing the price of that money. So no more gold was mined. All the gold mining went down the tubes, and then everything had to be done in secret. But the banks understood that. They knew back in 1900s. They didn't have the internet back in the 1901, 1902. There was no internet. Information was very scarce and held tightly by the banks for themselves. Today, it's not. Today, we can dive down these murky tunnels of corruption and scream and yell and fight and don't let your government tell you what to do anymore. That's one of the biggest things I've learned in the last 5 years. Government is the worst kind of people to tell you what to do. These are just schmoes who got elected or stole the election and got put into a place of power where they try to abuse their power. Who are these people? We got to get back to, we the people, instead of, Mr. Government, oh, help me with my health care, help me with my student loans, help me with everything. We gotta get rid of the government is my ultimate. You want utopia, you take care of yourself and don't let the government tell you to do anything. Hey, that's on my high horse right here at the Road to Roots.
No, and I love hearing it because you, like you said, you've been in this scene, you've been in fighting this fight for over 2 decades, and you have such a great perspective that I know so many people appreciate, and you've been able to teach so many people about these issues so that we can take action, so that we can understand, define the problem, and then find the solutions for it. Because that's one issue that I see so much, especially in, you know, the mainstream or the default world, the normie land, is that no one really understands what the problems are. People are just lulled to sleep, and they haven't been awakened to all of this corruption. They haven't been awakened to what we need to do in order to return to a better place where we can live a life that has more freedom, that is more prosperous, that's more liberated, where we can come together and not have to worry with all this crap that they've been, you know, force feeding us through all their, you know, mainstream medias and all of their, you know, propaganda. I don't even know exactly where we need to keep this conversation on this platform, because we're in it right now. We're in that same, we have to do the dance on the internet just because they are doing their most. They're doing the best they can to keep this conversation, these voices, these communities from being able to have the right and the freedom to discuss this information, discuss these topics, share ideas, how we can improve this world. And so that's why I get fired up, man. I get so excited by these conversations that we wanted to continue to bring them to light and learn from them too, because, you know, Paige and I, we've only been in this space for, since when was it, Paige, that we really started to open up to all this? Was it in 2019 when we first went and did the Bix show in Las Vegas? I think that's when it was, right?
I think it was 2017. We joined Bix to help out at the Litecoin Summit, and we filmed that. That was our first kind of introduction into this world. And I had known Bix for years prior to that, and I had no idea what he did. I just knew that he filmed videos and he had his own website and he liked silver, but I had no idea what all of that meant, and like how he fit into this whole giant matrix of what was really going on in our world. And so that Litecoin Summit totally changed our lives, and we met all the amazing people: Clint, Lisa, Ben, Bitcoin Ben, and Josh actually got his first crypto. Ben and Clint sent him some Litecoin. And so he was in the world. Bix always gave me crypto for like Christmas presents. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just store this, you know, where I store my things. And I had no idea that he was opening this whole world to me. And so that's what I love the most about this community, is just how much they want to give and get you into the space and get you into the game. And everyone's just so giving and really wants everyone to just be a part of this new wave, because it has so much great energy and potential behind it. But yeah, I think 2017 was our intro, and then things really exploded in 2020 for obvious reasons. And we all collectively experienced what we experienced at the time. And that just really set in motion us working with the Road to Ruta and really wanting to put so much energy into this company, because we really truly started seeing what happened. And then that transferred into the Pebbleton Post, because Josh and I's red pill experience was intense, abrasive, to say the least. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of nights up until 4 a.m. just deep diving, going down the rabbit hole, figuring out what's actually happening. I was living with my mom and Bix for a while, and I would call Josh and just be freaking out and go on a 2-hour call about what was going on, and Josh is doing the same. And it just was so intense, and we want to make that experience a lot less abrasive for everyone who's currently going through that red pill experience. And one of my friends actually called me the other day, and she said, "I'm really overwhelmed. Can you please jump on a phone call?" And it was all this stuff that I was learning back in 2020. And I really had to walk her through, like, you know, some tactics on just protecting your mental health and going down these rabbit holes, because it can just be so intense, and it's consuming. It consumes your life. It consumes your thoughts. It can get really dark. And so we want to be the light at the end of the tunnel, giving out this information and truly just helping people learn, and from all different angles, different perspectives. And so, you know, that's kind of where all of this started.
I remember when you guys first started talking about it, you would get in fights with your friends because your entire friend community, and you are both very social people. So there was plenty of people down there who were thinking exactly the opposite of as you were waking up to all these things that they don't show you. How was that experience? I think that's one of the biggest things that Pebbleton Post can bring to this community is a way to transition people to something closer to the truth without alienating a massive amount of your friends and family, which I had to do in the beginning. It felt like you guys kind of did it as well. And then you have to learn to, I have to be quiet around this person. I can't talk about this around this person, even though you know it's the truth and it's like eating at you. How did you guys survive it? Because I know most of your friends, and to this day, I don't know how you survived that, changing while your friends were not.
I'll hop on that one because I definitely have a lot of feelings around that. It was, like Paige said, it's difficult to swallow that red pill. It was definitely something that took a lot of time. It took a lot of research and, like we were saying, just sleepless nights of looking up all kinds of crazy stuff on the internet. Once you see it, it just shatters your whole paradigm. You realize that everything you learned in your whole life was a lie, and that you need to unlearn all of that, deprogram from all of those things that we were taught. And so we can start accepting this new world, this new reality of truth that is here and is that we need to embody. And so, and if you guys didn't know, Paige and I, we live out here in California, where there's a lot more of the I don't even know how to call it, but liberal mindset, more of the left-leaning ideologies that we get a lot of pressure from, especially during that 2020 timeline that Paige was talking about. And so for me, I had a really hard time communicating. I had a really hard time talking to my friends and family. And when I did, it wasn't honed in. It wasn't defined. It wasn't very articulate, because I was still in an emotional place, and I was still kind of mourning this world that I had been in for 27 years or however old I was at the time. And so that part was difficult, but having a community of people to learn from who were a little bit more sane, who were a little bit more mature and a little bit more grounded, having those people to root into and to talk to and to learn from really helped that process become a little smoother, to the point where I feel more comfortable now, still not totally comfortable, but more comfortable now to have these conversations and do so in a rational way, and do so in a way that hopefully the person on the receiving end can take it and learn from it, instead of having their ego flare up or have their push the concepts away because it's going to shake up their reality too much. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And like Paige said, we're trying to make or something we like to say is we're trying to make a red pill formula that's a little just as potent, but a little bit more digestible. And I think a lot of that comes down to the way we discuss all of these topics as a community. And that's something that we're really excited to do here on this channel and on all the other video content and podcasts that we do, is open up this conversation to a lot of different people who have a lot of different opinions, because I think it's important that we don't live in an echo chamber. I think it's important that we don't just, seek evidence that's going to prove us to be correct. I think it's important to be challenged and to challenge the narratives, because that's how we got here, was seeing that there's issues and not trusting that what one person says is 100% the truth. And so the more we can do that, the more we can grow as I think, as a human race and as a society, especially one that's been misled for so long. So to answer your question, Bix, it was tough, but I feel like we're at a point now where we can start to help other people who might be starting to wake up, because more and more people are waking up every day. More and more people are seeing that there's cracks in the foundations of what they have their entire reality resting upon. And so I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to break some bowls and break some people's minds open, and hopefully do it in a way where they can more gracefully ease into the truth than what we did. So that's my answer to that. Paige, how did how was all this for you? I know that it was the time you were talking about living up there in Oakland, especially during, the craziness of 2020. It was brutal, but is there anything else that you can add to how you're excited to bring this to fruition now?
Yeah, absolutely. I like everything you said, and I agree with most of it. It was difficult at first, but something that I do want to add is that this whole pill experience really helped me with my communication skills and really helped me realize where I can grow as a person, as a friend, as a family member, and not being triggered when people want to push back against what I'm saying, and realizing that this is new information, and it is our job as the keepers of this information and the people learning this. It is our job to bridge the gap between what their understanding is and what our understanding is. At the end of the day, the research that you've done is only the research you have done. And to get people on board with you and all of us on the right track, we really do have to bridge that gap and bridge that gap of understanding. And so that's the lesson that I took away from this is, how can I present this information to my friends and family in an easily digestible way, in a way that, at the end of the day, if they just want to toss it and they don't want to take it, that's perfectly okay. That has nothing to do with who I am as a person. That has nothing to do with the movement itself. That has nothing to do with if this information is true or not, which it is. But it really helped me learn how to connect with people in a different way. And, some friends were lost, but also it strengthened my relationship with some people. And the seeds that I planted back in 2020 are just now starting to grow. And sometimes that's what you are. You're the seed planter. And when you plant seeds, just like you plant in a garden, sometimes you don't see the fruition of that until years down the road. But when you do start to see the fruits of your labor, it's such a beautiful process. And so anyone going through this, I recommend just plant the seeds, water them, and sometimes you just have to step away and they will grow years down the road. And we've also met and gained so many wonderful friends in this space, and lifelong friends, and finding people who really truly deeply understand you and do agree with our mindset. And so that was just so beautiful to meet so many new people. And it wasn't easy, it's not an easy process, but it's definitely worth it. And it hardens you into a better person. It's like a samurai, it's learning to go through hard things so that you feel the pain of discipline, and feeling that and learning that. That's something that you really can't get anywhere else unless you're in the fight, unless you're in the battle. So anyone out there who's in it, I see you, I support you, keep going. And I hope that all the information in the community that we are able to curate with the Pebbleton Post makes that adventure a little bit easier for you.
So well said, Paige. And I can't be more excited to be going on this journey with you. And Bix, thank you so much for leading the way, paving the path for us and so many people out there in the community, so many people in this chat room specifically who have taken this information and applied it to their lives and are hopefully going out there and taking action in fighting the good fight and teaching the people around them how to be warriors of light, as Clint Westwood likes to put it. And so, with that, there's so much we could talk about here, and there's so many people who are excited to talk to us in the chat room. And so I was wondering, before we jump into all that, Bix, is there anything you want to say, or is there any questions you have for us as we begin this journey?
Just keep on doing it. day in, day out. You shift and guide the way you want Pebbleton Post to run, and don't be afraid to change. And there'll be moments when things are great, and there'll be moments when things are shit. But just keep fighting the fight, and you guys are doing a great job. And let's see what the questions people have. I heard there was questions in the chat room.
Yes. And so one of the first ones that actually has been coming up that I wanted to just quickly do some housekeeping real quick is that we're not only here on YouTube, we do have a couple of other places where you can find us. We have this website, which I'll show you very quickly, is the Pebbleton Post. It's just pebbletonpost.com. And this is where you can go and find a lot of the information about our backstory and see our latest videos and hear what we have to say and what our message is. Here you can also check out our Patreon, and this is where we're going to be posting the majority of our uncensored content that we're not allowed to be posting here on this channel. But we also have Twitter, and we have Rumble, we have BitChute, and we have Truth Social at the moment. These are all places that we feel we can speak a little bit more freely, and a place where I know this community thrives. And so follow us on all of these platforms to stay up to date with all of those, all of the videos and podcasts that we'll be putting out. And also connect with us via our email list, because out there in this crazy world of censorship, you never know when there might be shadow bans. There might be times when we can't totally connect as transparently as we want. So this email list will at least be a way for us to make sure that we are connected any way we can be. And so also know that when it comes to the content that we will be making, it's not just going to be these video podcasts that we have been doing. We're doing that to start as a way to get involved with the community, as a way to talk to a lot of the people that we love in this space and get their ideas and get them introduced to the channel. But we plan on doing a lot more well-produced content, stuff that has a little bit more thought and structure to it, that's really going to be used as an educational tool. So be on the lookout for that stuff as we continue to roll this out. And then also on our website, you can find out more information about our vision and our mission as Paige and I, as the members of this team, and, more of the interests that we have that we're excited to be bringing into these conversations, as well as a little bit of our story. If you guys want to hear the whole backstory as to how Paige and I got to be on this path, which we talked about a little bit, you can find it here on the website. So that's just one place that we wanted to let you guys know. We're not just here on YouTube. We're going to be all over the place. So if you don't like this platform, please connect with us on the other ones. All right. So with that, let's see what's going on in the chat room. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, for Bix, I know Bix is a hard man to get live. So if you've got anything for him, let us know, and we will put it up here on the screen and answer them for you guys, because this is what we're all about. We're all about getting the community together, having these conversations, asking those questions, sharing that knowledge. So let's see what we got. All right. While I scroll through these, if you guys,
I did see someone had asked about Theta, my thoughts on Theta, and why don't I talk about Theta anymore? I'll start with that one. I love Theta. I love Theta. It is, I believe it's my largest holding too. Theta is the future of so many things, and they're doing everything right. Now, in cryptos, you have a lot of manipulation, a lot of people who chase shiny objects. So if somebody like meme coins and stuff like that, you'll see billions of dollars flow this way and that way. Theta has never been one of those shiny objects, maybe a little bit in when it ran up to $15. But Theta has done, the Theta Labs team has done everything right in building what they're trying to build, which is a huge platform. They're building the new metaverse way before its time, by the way. But they're laying down what Cliff High used to call the railroad tracks for the metaverse. You can put the cars on, you can put whatever you want on top. You need the infrastructure, and that's what Theta's doing, as well as sharing of the internet is gigantic. And the last mile problem was their original the original problem they were solving. It's that last mile, like when Netflix is trying to get to your TV, it has to go through these gigantic hubs in every city, and this was a cheaper way to do it. Everybody shares their internet with everybody else in the last mile. It could be done much cheaper, much easier, and from there they've just saw so many ways to go, so many patents they've they've gotten. So yeah, I see Theta will get another shiny object moment, probably go up into like the $150-$200 and then come back down. And then the next one, I do believe in the Michelle White Dove, $1,000 plus Theta. And I don't think it's all that far off. I just think right now with the crypto being slammed by Gary Gensler and friends, I think a lot of people are just kind of gun shy, shall we say. But when they come in next, it's going to be full force and they're going to look for good projects. A lot will die off. As we saw every time cryptos crash, a lot of cryptos just die off and are never heard from again. Theta is one of those projects that they keep doing what they say they're going to do. And I think it'll be one of your best investments that you ever make here at like $1 Theta or whatever it is right now. So there's my answer to the Theta question.
That's a great answer. And just to add on that Theta note real quick, there are some really awesome things that I have been a part of, luckily, with actually someone who's in the chat right now, Mr. Skullcap Savant. We've been doing some really cool stuff with Theta and a project called Mark Media, where we're actually using the Theta NFT utility, where if you own a Theta NFT on their blockchain, you can use it to enter our site, which we are building right now, which is something that I find incredibly cool and incredibly just unique to NFT utility. That's going to be something that blockchain is used for so much in the future, and we're just starting to scratch the surface there. And Theta is one of the first people to really bring it to action. So another good reason to get into Theta, if you ask me. We have some really cool stuff going on here in the chat. Question here from the lovely Litecoin Lisa, asking about something that Cliff I talked about a little while ago, where there's going to be a summer of digital money flooding into the markets. Do you believe that this might be coming up this year, Bix?
Well, yeah, yes and no. Yes, I think ever since the cryptos were created, they've been flooding into the markets. This summer, I think, will be unique in that I think this summer we'll see the breaking of the tight hold that our regulators and our central banks have on humanity. I think we will break free of them. It'll be chaotic. So it's not like you're going to sit there and look at your crypto earnings from exchanges if the banks go down. If the banks go down, the crypto exchanges go down. People need to beware of that. It'll be at some point, what have you got in your hands? Do you have cryptos in your hands? Then you can use them going forward. Do you have gold and silver in your hands? You can use them going forward. But we won't know the price. If the banks go down, we won't know the price of cryptos. We won't know the price of gold and silver. We won't know the price of anything. And that's kind of the scary part of the road to Ruta theory. Is the whole idea was to create as much money as possible, soaking up all the benefits of unbacked fiat money. Build your roads, your bridges, your houses, your schools, your military, build everything, and then just hyperinflate the currency until it's gone. And we can see that from our government not talking about balancing the budget anymore, not talking about the deficit anymore. Now they're just arguing over when we're going to lift all the constraints on that, the debt ceiling and all. It is insane what they're talking about when they should be talking about, oh my God, we've made so much of these fiat money certificates and electronic blips that the whole system can't be held together much longer. So I do think this summer we will see that kind of freedom of money. Interesting little side note that I talked about in this morning's news was the U.S. Mint is coming out with a Liberty coin. They do an annual Liberty coin. This one has the eagle standing on a rock, and a nice solid rock. It came in for a landing, and that was all the symbology of the change in the back of the U.S. Eagle. It was flying in and adding to the nest is what they called it. But this summer that comes out, it's sitting on a rock, and the front side of that coin is the Tree of Liberty, which is famous Thomas Jefferson quote, the Tree of Liberty must be renewed with the blood of tyrants and patriots every once in a while. That's not the exact quote, but it's something like that. I think that's where we're going to be. We're going to be fighting for our country. And I think everything is pointing to that. And by the summer, hopefully we can win. And winning means no more government control of money, no more banker control of money. So we would see what Lisa was talking about. The cryptocurrencies being one of the options, one of the many options. We don't have to just be, have just one option, this green piece of paper that says $1 on it. We can use anything we want as money. So that's my
Well, speaking of silver, I love everything you just said. I think that silver is a really, really good thing to get involved in if you're not already, especially this piece of silver specifically, which you can go get at theroadtoruta.com. But
well, you can only at Miles Franklin.
Sorry, that is correct. You can find the affiliate page on the website, but go talk to Andy Sheckman and Miles Franklin. They'll get you hooked up with this really awesome piece of silver that actually this whole team that's on the screen right now is really proud to present. But Mitch asked a really good question in terms of silver. You can see on the screen, as for physical trade, is silver the best conversion from cryptos? What do you feel about that, Bix?
Yes. Although it depends how you convert it. I mean, some people go silver to cash, then buy metal. Miles Franklin has a crypto to right to silver conversion. They'll take crypto for silver, although the rates the company that does it charges are off the charts. But you can do that. Right now, I'd stick with converting cryptos to silver. At other times, I think it would be important. You want a little bit of everything. You don't want to be all in cryptos or all in silver or all in gold. You especially don't want to be all in gold. But yeah, I mean, for crypto people who understand the basics of sound money, then you understand gold most of all. And when you understand gold, it's not a far leap to say, oh my God, silver's 100 times better than gold, for not only the monetary reasons, but also the industrial use reasons. So yeah, I think a nice balance of cryptos and silver will do you well.
That's absolutely right. And we actually have some more people commenting on the things you might need out there. Specifically, one of our good friends, Ken Swartz, is in the chat, and who actually Ken and I had an amazing talk earlier today that we're going to be really excited to post. But make sure you guys are getting not only your health in check and your finances in check, but all the things you need to sustain yourself, like your food and your medicine as well, because those are things we're going to lose. So excited to do that. Also, check out, if you guys have C60 or you need more C60, which is one of the best things to keep your health at optimal levels, check out the C60 affiliate link that we don't even have the link yet, but use Pebbleton 10 if you go to their website, and that'll help support us and keep our channel moving and grooving as well as we continue this fight and as we continue to optimize our own health. So looking back in the chat, Paige, is there anything that you saw that we need to cover?
Let me check. Just something on diversifying. Something that I always tell my friends that are just now getting into this space is we are in a matrix and you have to bob and weave. You have to have a toe in every single pool that you can, because right now we don't know how this system is going to crumble. We just know that it's going to crumble soon. So have your fingers in every single pie and you will end up getting a slice when it's all said and done. So
that's good advice. And if new people are coming in, definitely dollar cost average into whatever asset you're going to get into, meaning don't just spend all your money on one asset and hope it goes up from there. You're going to want to spend a little bit of your money on the asset and then wait for it to move a little bit more, maybe once a week or twice a week. But yeah, because with these types of assets, you can easily see a 95% drop that just makes your stomach drop to the floor. But at the same time, you can see thousands of % gains. So, I mean, I've always been a fan of hodling, hang on for dear life. And over the years, the longer you hodl, the better off you are. I've been in this since, for silver since 2000, when silver was under $5. But for cryptos, right in the beginning, 2013, I think I bought my first Bitcoin. So, and I was there when it went to $1,000 and back down to 100, and I sold all my Bitcoin, the dumbest move I ever made. At that point, I said, I'm never selling again. So I haven't. And yeah, you'll see the highs and lows, but it's all part of it. And it's not necessarily the assets that are changing in value. It's the underlying fight to keep fiat money alive. It's the bankers who are really on the ropes. It's not cryptos and it's not silver. It's the bankers.
That's absolutely right. And the place where you can go learn about more of this information around cryptos and silver is with Lisa, and I think Clint too. You guys are getting together. It looks like here on the 21st and 22nd. Just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out, because every time you guys get together and you start to meet in person and bring your community together, it's something that's so powerful. So if you guys are anywhere near, are you guys, I think it's in Oklahoma where you guys
That's
are.
April.
That's in April. Yes.
That's in April.
In
Road to Ruta. Amy and I will be there.
Really? Oh my gosh. Yep. Well, you guys, if you want to see Bix and Amy and the whole crew there,
and maybe Paige and Josh, I don't know. You guys got to check your schedule.
If we get enough Patreon subscribers to help us get some gas money to go out there, I don't see why we wouldn't be out there, because every time we get together, every time the community joins, it just feels so good. It feels like family, and we get to share so much information. And so make sure you guys get out to that if you can. Let's see what else is going on. The comments are flying by. So let's see what else we can find while I'm scrolling through. All right. Lots of fun stuff.
Let's see.
It seems.
So John asked a question. So I have an important question. I hope I can get answered. Say silver goes up to $1,000. Why would you want to sell it and get fiat money?
Well, that's a great question, and it comes down to, what do you want to hold your money? What is money at the time? $1,000 silver would probably mean there's a problem with the exchanges that rig the price of silver. You wouldn't. You'd want to, if money was still viable and the most likely thing that's going to be used to buy things, you would change it into, fiat money and then buy a house or a car or something else. But you'd probably want to keep your silver, unless you're like, oh my God, I think it's going way too high. More houses than I can afford. I want to give some away to a charity, or I want to, buy a house for my family or my kids or something, things like that. It'll be more like, what do you want to trade it for, rather than I'm looking to make more fiat money, fiat dollar bills from my investment in silver.
Very good. Another thing I saw a minute ago that just flew by, I don't have the exact question, but there's another one that's similar to it, is asking a question about Very. How do you feel about Very right now, Bix? How do you feel about Reggie and everything that's going on there? And I know Lisa has a lot to say about this too, being that she's part of the DAO. But Bix, what's your opinion?
Very is very close to me in my heart. I've been fighting for the truth and honesty to come out about what happened to Veritasium. Why were they so destroyed? Why was Reggie and his company and the people who work for Very so destroyed by the SEC? What was it that at the SEC that made them react so violently to Veritasium compared to every other cryptocurrency that they took down? For example, Block One that did the EOS ICO was a $4 billion ICO, and they got a little tiny slap on the wrist of $25 million, a tiny amount compared to what they raised in their ICO. Reggie Middleton, on the other hand, got 100% taken away, all his tokens taken away. An agreement that he wouldn't invest in cryptos or run a crypto company ever again. I mean, just totally went after him. And the reason was because Reggie invented a way to enter into an exchange between two people without a middleman, without an exchange, without a bank between you and the other person, without a Fidelity and no JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. I mean, that was the real purpose of what Reggie invented and what he got patented. And what they did to him was horrific. As an American, I'm embarrassed for my government and my regulators and whoever paid off the regulators to do this. But I've been fighting the regulators forever. Our life would be so much better without regulators. Yes, people will get scammed, but they wouldn't enter into risky things. That's the thing. If you enter into our markets now, which is a complete fraud, it's all risky. And the bankers are going to steal your money, even high frequency trades, as you give your money to your broker. I mean, our entire system is a complete fraud. It's just sanctioned fraud. I think we don't need regulators. I think Veritasium, I don't know about the future of Veritasium, truthfully. It should have had a great future. Cliff High's data says the government comes to Reggie when all this crap falls apart and says, hey, help us rebuild the system with peer-to-peer transactions. If that happens, yeah, everybody who has one Veritasium token is just won the lottery. And Cliff's data has Veritasium going higher than Bitcoin, which would happen if the government did come to Reggie. And I think they will, truthfully. Why else would they give him the patent? They awarded him the patent last, I think it was a year ago, December or something like that. And then Japan has given Reggie 2 patents. And something big is going on behind the scenes with Veritasium. But I can't say, okay, yeah, spend all your money on this. First of all, it's very hard to get. You can get on Mercatox, but that is like one of the shakiest exchanges out there. And then I don't know if you can get it off. And then I don't know if anybody can sell it even after you get it off, because the volumes, I mean, the 24-hour volume of Bitcoin is like, I don't know, like $50 billion every 24 hours. Of Veritasium is like $5,000 every 24 hours. It's just crazy. But you can see how it could go so high in a short period of time if the government did. If someone sane moved into the government and said, oh, my God, we have the answer to all the problem of market manipulation, and it's this crypto technology called Veritasium, peer-to-peer transactions. That's all it is. So that's my take. Yes, I do have Veritasium, but I tell everybody, it's like a lottery ticket. You usually don't win on lottery tickets. But he deserves to win, if you ask me.
Very well said, Bix. And I agree that one of the issues with, Veri as a token right now is it's hard to get. It's hard to sell too when you have it. And I don't know if you'd ever want to sell it. But a question here that's coming up is, I just lost it. Oh, here we go. And it's around selling things back. If you ever do feel like you need to take these assets, these hard assets, and put them back into the system to get whatever money you need. One question that comes up here, and also a very true statement that I just wanted to add. But the question is about junk silver and constitutional silver. And I'm just going to say one thing that I believe about junk silver that makes it really nice is that it's such a small denomination, meaning that this amount of silver in it is a lot less than a big, 10-ounce bar like this. You only have less than an ounce of silver. And so if silver was to go up, or when it does go up, if you need to just get a little bit back, you don't want to let go of a huge bar of silver, I think that the junk silver is a really good way to go. Also, the smaller denominations of 1 ounce rounds is a good way to go for that. But Bix, what do you think about junk silver, also constitutional silver?
Number one, junk silver is a stupid name for the pre-65 coinage. It was called junk silver, but because it was selling for less than spot back in like the early 2000s, less than spot. And then, just recently it was up $10 over spot. So yeah, it's a really interesting concept. Basically the idea is that silver made by the US government through the US Mint is different than other types of silver, both legally, constitutionally, and how it's dealt with in the fraud section of our laws. If you try to fake a U.S. silver eagle, that's counterfeiting. That falls under counterfeiting laws, which are much more strict than just the fraud laws of faking a 1 ounce round or putting lead inside a silver bar. But there is an argument. Jim Sinclair had told, I forgot who he told, one of the guys he was working with, that he had heard when he was younger that the plan was, they knew the system was going to fall apart. The plan was to just allow silver and gold made from made by the U.S. Mint allow the people to hold that as money and to nationalize all the other silver and gold. Is that even possible in a global system? Probably not. Would the people stand for that? Probably not. But that was one. And Jim Sinclair is probably the most connected guy we have to what the real plan was way back when, with silver. And he's the guy who helped to liquidate the Buffett silver, or not the Buffett, the Hunt brothers silver. So he has deep connections to the monetary systems of the United States. And yeah, I can see that. I mean, truthfully, if I'm going to tell you what my portfolio is, more than half of my silver is constitutional silver. A lot of pre-65 coinage, mainly because it was so damn cheap. And it's hard. I mean, if you try to fake a silver mercury dime, it's almost not worth the time and effort. It's just this little tiny thing. And you'll get thrown in jail for counterfeiting. So why do it? Which is great for the constitutional money, because people will, if you're gonna try to commit fraud, which is like put molybdenum in silver bars, you're not going to want to do it with constitutional money, because the pain and suffering of counterfeiting a currency is a lot worse. And I venture to say that when we go back to a gold and silver standard, it might even be consequences of like life in prison if you try to fake a gold or silver U.S. constitutional money.
Well, that was a lot of really good information, Bix, and something I learned a lot there, because I mean, I myself, I'm a holder of a lot of different forms of silver, but I didn't realize how valuable specifically that pre-65 coinage was in terms of the legality of it, or the fact that it was minted here in America. And I know that's something that you talk about a lot in your channel too, is that if there ever does come a time when silver is nationalized, that the stuff that is created by the mint might be a little bit safer. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you say, but
but I think well, nationalization would, with the U.S. government, legally they would have to pay us for our silver. And I think that was in Cliff's data too. But their take would be, okay, we'll give you whatever our next fiat money is for your silver, and you're supposed to be happy with that. No one's going to give back their silver. Just like in 1935, when very few people gave back their gold when they nationalized it. So I think the government's going to lose a lot of their power as the system breaks down. I'm sure of it. And the banks will lose their power. So we're going to have different people deciding what's going to happen. And by the way, I might want to point out that coming up is St. Patty's Day, Amy and my anniversary. Who knows how many years we've been. But that's a picture from the day we got married, right there, and her drinking a Guinness in her green little dress.
That was actually one of the questions that came up really quick at the beginning there. I think Jim dropped it in there, was how did you and Amy come to meet? Actually, that's a fun little personal question, if you don't mind answering that.
We met at a bar. Let's just leave it at that. No, we met, and it was we were meant to meet type of thing for various reasons. So it's been great. It's been wonderful.
It was all for the Pebbleton Post.
That's right.
Exactly. God said, we need the Pebbleton Post. We're going to start it this way. And we ended up, look how far we've come.
Well, I do believe that we all, come together. I believe destiny and fate to an extent, where when people are meant to cross each other's paths and do the good work together, that the universe will find a way to make sure they all meet up. And so I think that, you and Amy meeting, me and Paige meeting, all of us coming together and doing the work that we've done for the last few years now was by design. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And so thankful that we have such a great community around us, asking us great questions, and that we only got to dive into just a bit of them today, but had a really fun time jumping in and being a part of this, doing our first live stream ever, which was super fun. And, definitely something we look forward to do in the future. We're just passing the 1 hour mark now, but how are you guys feeling? How is everything going with you? Do you guys feel like taking a few more questions, or should we just leave it at that?
We'll take one or two more questions, and then we'll call it a day.
All right. Oh man, Nancy in the house. What's up? let's see if I can find another question here. If you guys have any last questions for Bix, throw them in the chat now. While we are looking for those, Paige, is there anything you want to ask Bix or anything you want to add to this?
I have a question right here. It says, what wallet would you recommend holding Veritasium in?
So Veritasium currently is on ERC20 Ethereum-based platform. It runs off of Ethereum. So any of the Ethereum wallets should hold like Exodus. I personally keep my Veritasium in paper wallets because but you have to know how to make a paper wallet where the computer, the printer, the paper, the cords, nothing has been on the internet ever. Just to make sure that the paper wallet has, is soundly made. But for most people, the Exodus wallet is a great wallet to hold it on. But it is an ERC20 token. It's an Ethereum, one of the Ethereum tokens. But Reggie has said many times he's not, Veritasium used to be on the Bitcoin blockchain. He could put Veritasium on any blockchain, but the Ethereum blockchain is what he's on right now.
Very good.
And don't forget, Reggie doesn't own any Veritasium tokens anymore. There have all been 98 million of them have been frozen by the SEC, and they're sitting there doing nothing, and nobody knows what's happening to that.
Very well said. Speaking of crypto, this question came up earlier, and Daddy-O, good to see you. Bix did say that he still has a good feeling that Theta is going to be one of those big players out there. We believe that the Michelle White Dove was onto something, and I think that if you didn't catch that conversation earlier, make sure to go check it out. Let's see what else we got in here.
That's a yes, Daddy-O.
That is
yes. I mean, I'm thinking more like 10,000 Theta, but hey.
We got some interesting stuff. I've seen this question come up, and I've actually seen this company a few times. Do you know anything about this 7K or using, what's the question exactly? Sound Money wallet and the future of storing your silver and gold in a vault to spend in the market through their wallet or new wallet that is created in the future. Do you know anything about this?
It sounds like the same as the Load wallet and the Load platform. I am not a fan of giving up, giving third-party possession of your assets, of any assets. I think it will have to be done for gold and silver to make it more viable as money in the future. I understand that. But the amount of, you don't want anybody between you and your silver. You don't want anybody between you and your cryptos. If you add something to a crypto, I think you're taking away value from it. If the crypto can't stand alone, then that's the crypto's problem. And same with gold and silver. If you're adding things to it, you're taking away its value. So third-party risk is the biggest risk. That's the best thing about cryptos and gold and silver, is that intrinsically they have no third-party risk if you hold it properly. If you add third-party risk, meaning somebody has to store the silver somewhere and anybody holds your cryptos for you, that type of thing, that's another layer of things that have to go right in your favor in a chaotic time. So right now, I think all the current large warehouses of gold and silver are prime targets for government. So this project of 7K would be wherever they hold their silver, it would be a prime target for any government to come in and say, I'm taking it. Or even the people that run away with it. We have a financial crash, and the guards that were guarding the gates, they have families to feed too. And if the system falls apart, where are they going to go? They're going to grab the silver and run home. Everybody would, to take care of their own family. So, yeah, I'm not a fan.
No, I totally understand that, and I do agree that what Paige said in the chat earlier is that we need to hold all of our assets in our own possession, and that's something that you've always preached, Bix, and I hope everyone who has learned from you has taken action on, or if they're still learning now, make sure you guys are doing that, because that is definitely the safest way to put your wealth into your own hands and take control of your own wealth. So there's a few more things going here on the chat. Some really good questions, you guys. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. But there's going to be plenty more times where we're coming up here live. I see some more questions that are kind of about around the basic stuff about crypto wallets and how to put Theta into a Trezor. Those are conversations that we're really excited to start bringing you guys soon, just Paige and I, because we do believe that crypto and crypto knowledge is something that is essential for our own, like we said, getting your own wealth in your own possession and for the future of the digital world. And so let's see if there's anything else. Crypto Nana in the house. What's up, Crypto Nana? Happy belated birthday twin.
Yay, Nana.
Yeah. So thank you for all the friends who've come in and for all the people who, just showed so much love in this chat, have been showing us so much love as a community. It seriously means the world to us. And we're really excited to be putting more of our energy back into the community and really just, if you guys feel that energy, if you guys feel that change in the air, that's what we're feeling as well. And we can't wait to capitalize on it. Let's find one more question for you, Bix, before we get out of here and see what's feeling good. Do you want to talk about silver?
There's a guitar behind me, someone earlier, and that is not my guitar. That is Josh's guitar, and he can play
left-handed. It's left-handed.
He is a lefty. Fun fact about Josh.
Not politically.
Okay, looks like there's another question for Bix.
I thought this would be a good one to end on, Bix. I know that this has been a long thing that you've been going through for over 2 decades now, and people who are just coming on, they understand the fight, they understand that there's big wheels at play. But do you see any big movements that you care to talk about as the last thing we answer?
Well, I understand people's frustrations. I mean, I've been doing this 20 years. I can tell you this. I feel that we're closer than we have ever been, at least in my lifetime, to ending this game. It almost ended on September 11th, 2008. We're about a half an hour from the derivative market meltdown before they bailed out. They just basically opened up the coffers. The next time, I don't think they will bail any banks out. I don't think there's not political will to do that. Yes, the Fed can do it, but again, there are people behind the Fed who are part of the good guys as well. So I think we're closer than ever before, but you don't want it to come, truthfully. I mean, when it hits, it's going to be really ugly. If they could figure out a way around it, great, but it's been over 100 years of kicking the can down the road, and everybody who said, oh, we'll just delay it for this long and this long and this long, nobody's been able to close the deal. But I do think we're closer. I think if you look at our pretendency presidency, I would say, yeah, we're much more farther along than you can see. Although, Trump was the biggest market rigger of all of them, but I think he had to do it for certain reasons. But at the end of the day, I would guess if the good guys are in charge right now, they would want this administration to be the administration to blame for the crash. So I would say that gives us a deadline of 2024. But who knows? It could happen any day. I tell everybody, just get your house in order and then don't freak out and expect it to happen tomorrow, especially when people say it's going to happen tomorrow. And I've done my share of that because it's amazing how much power both sides have. So hang in there and do what you need to do to get by and secure your assets for the future.
Very well said, Bix. Thank you for all the knowledge that you've imparted on us during this chat, for all the work that you've done. Worked so hard, put your whole heart and soul into over the last 20 plus years, and for just being a part of this launch of the Pebbleton Post, because we couldn't do this without you. We wouldn't be here without you. And we're so excited to see where we take this. And yeah, with that, this has been our first live stream. We've been so excited to do this, so excited to get the ball rolling on this project. And I can tell just by all the love that we've been getting in the chat from all of these people that we've met over the years and through the internet, that there's going to be a lot of fun things to talk about. There's going to be a lot of energy behind this movement, and we're so stoked to be a part of it. Paige, is there anything you want to close out with before we get out of here?
Just to echo you, I'm just so excited for everything that lies ahead. and some of the more like coursework content that we're going to be creating. I think a lot of the crypto questions will be answered in the upcoming courses that we're going to have available. And we just really want to help everyone learn this information, make it easy, streamline the process. And thank you all for making this live stream so epic. And thank you, Bix, for coming on and always supporting our endeavors and, you know, truly getting us in this fight. It all comes back to you and our work at the Road to Ruta. So thank you again for that opportunity. And thank you to everyone in the chat room. You guys were epic. Great questions. Thank you, everyone who has been subscribing and liking all of our content. You guys really keep this afloat. And without your support, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing and we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So we just ask that you continue to show your support and your love. And we just look forward to serving this community and doing everything we possibly can to fight for freedom. And we will see you again soon.
All right.
All right, guys. So one more time, like, subscribe, do all the things, follow us on all the channels, go check out our website, and we'll be back soon with more amazing content for you guys to learn from. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Bix. Thank you, Paige. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.